And its management team have already had their first meeting. Now let's get an update. We cross to our reporter Diabo, who is in Ufa in Russia, for more on the bank and the Brics Summit, which kicks off tomorrow. Good evening to you, Diabo. It seems there's a packed agenda. What can we expect?
Hi, Francis. Well, from a very, very cold Ufa in Russia, it is extremely cold. But what I can tell you is that plans are very, very much underway for tomorrow, the official opening of the Brics Summit here in Ufa in Russia. There have been a couple of meetings that have taken place already. We've seen the Trade Ministers Conference taking place in Moscow. We've seen the Finance Ministers and the Board of Governors meeting taking place. We've seen a couple of meetings between the presidents themselves, and of course, what you mentioned in the intro, the establishment of the Brics Bank, Development Bank, which is of course aimed to try to fund such things like infrastructure projects that are coming out of the BRICS countries, and to also make sure that they get a good start financial-wise, all these groups into this BRICS grouping. But I had the pleasure of speaking to our own Trade Minister, Mr. Davis, who has also explained to us how the Development Bank will be working and what aim it is aimed for.
To find out that other economies are struggling with the same matters as we are struggling with, and the fact of the matter is that the mineral commodity super cycle has passed its prime, and that all mining economies around the world, those that have been producers and exporters of primary mineral commodities, are all suffering one way and another. The oil producers just experienced that a little bit later than the rest of us. That's the only difference.
Rob Davies on the Development Bank. Diabo, a significant partnership signed today between a South African and a Russian company. Give us the details.
Yes, absolutely. Our very own Bell Equipment has signed a partnership with Kamiz, a Russian company. They will be doing a partnership in terms of delivering all these big vans, or they call them bins, as they call them. What will be happening is that a part of this truck will be assembled and manufactured in South Africa, and then part of it will be assembled in Russia. This will be signifying coming together of the two countries, and they'll make sure that this kickstarts the export and importing of parts and manufacturing industry in both countries. This is quite a significant step for both countries. We'll know that South Africa's manufacturing sector has also had its own challenges in the sense of electricity prices, electricity, the reliability rather of electricity. Russia as well has its own kind of problems in the form of sanctions and other economic problems, the devaluing of their ruble and things like that. So they're expecting that this partnership will be one that will be quite significant for both countries.
Diabo, mostly good news here. The Development Bank, we need funding for infrastructure, talk of a stability fund which could even help prop up our rand in future. But there's also bad news. All the BRICS countries are being affected by slowing economic growth, and China of particular concern right now. We're seeing stocks on two markets plunge. What is the mood like? Are those bad news stories also being discussed and addressed in Ufa?
Francis, I'm glad that you spoke about that. During my interview with Trade Minister Davis, he spoke that the kind of problems that South Africa, the slowing economy that South Africa is currently experiencing, is not a new phenomenon. It is something that it is experienced in all the 5 countries. However, the mood is quite different here. You see people just walking up and about. You see meetings happening. You do not get a sense that people are despondent or that the economies are not doing well, therefore things will not happen. I find that the mood is quite jovial around here. You can see a quite positive mood, and I expect that a lot of deals will be, partnerships will be signed, a lot of agreements will be agreed to, but of course we will be giving you each and every step of the detail that will be happening here in Ufa from tomorrow.
Thank you very much, Diaboseto from Ufa in Russia. And of course, China has huge implications for our mining sector, for gold mining. And the bad news keeps coming for that sector. It's in talks hoping to avoid strike action, but union AMCU has quit those gold wage talks. The union declared a dispute late this afternoon. It now means it will take its process to the mediation body, the CCMA.